Okay, so I can talk freely now. Now there's nobody here but me and Stella. Even Trixie's gone. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to say about like some of the stuff I've been talking about. But it's like touchy because you don't want to like sound like you're talking shit about something because I'm not trying to do that or notice. I'm not trying to just like throw somebody under the bus. Because to me, this is all about consciousness. And you start noticing how it's becoming aware and becoming alert and waking up. Because this is all about, what's inside of you, your soul, coming to life in this life, basically. Because a lot of people haven't had theirs turned on, right? So, anyways, I feel like so not heavy in my heart. My heart chakra's been going crazy the last couple days, like freaking crazy. Like, oh my gosh, and the stuff that pops up for me there's so much intense energy right now. It's so weird how even the 30th, 31st, and the 1st, like, okay, so Rosh, all these bad things happen every 18 years when the planets line up. But what the hell happened yesterday? Or were any of those 3 days? I have no idea. You'd think it'd at least rocket a little bit here if something big happened. But, they're covering up stuff. Even while the Palma was just going crazy, the news wasn't even talking about it. So, we would literally not know. I heard that I've talked about this a while ago, the three beautiful, with another word that starts with G, that mad, go backwards, that had already gone months ago. There was footage, and I shared that footage, and that was my first takedown on TikTok, and that that it killed a whole bunch of people. And see, just don't even talk about it. Just pretend like that didn't happen. And then they take it down. They don't want us to pass information. So yeah, some bad stuff could have happened over the last couple of days, but how would we know? And I know that it's going to continue happening in everybody's lives because this is what is going on here. This is what the whole purpose of everything that is happening in our lives right now is for our awakening. So, it's just, it's kind of crazy because, I've talked about everything I'm going to say. I've talked about it before, so I'll quit saying that. Because I basically talk about the same stuff all the time. But, when I was going through my awakening, first I had to go through, the traumatic brain injury. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called, I think when your brain's coming out, squeezing out the back of your freaking skull. It's pretty traumatic. So anyways, and I had some stuff happen over the last few days to just really remind me that I have a broken brain. And it's just like, come on with the med beds. And my eyes, they let me know every second of the day. And I keep trying to do healing. And I'll do like Reiki and try and do healing on Stella's hips. And it's weird because as soon as I start doing it, she could be asleep. She will wake up and turn and she'll start trying to hit my hand away. It's like, what is it? I wonder what it feels like to her. I can feel heat coming out and stuff, but I don't know. It's like she doesn't want me to heal her. It's like her soul wants to go through this experience or something. But I keep trying to heal myself. And that's one thing too, is like when you know that this, the med beds is all about frequency and something else. But, we can heal ourselves. So, people have taken tumors away out of their body just by focusing on it and keep seeing it shrink. And they've shrunk it and made it go away. We can do so much. We just haven't been trained. So we're just like kind of, like when you first get on your bike, we're just all clumsy trying to figure this shit out. We've not had any guidance yet. So as each of us figure it out, see, that's how we need to keep sharing information. And the only reason I share some of this information that I say is because I feel like there's other people who are going through such similar things and that it can help them see whichever side they're on or possibly see the other person's side. Because that's the thing, is we need to increase our perspective, not decrease. That's what they want us to do. I mean, the other day when my daughter was telling me, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked when I already knew their attitude towards me after I had lost my accounts. It was like big. Oh my God. It was so freaking huge in my family, the backstabbing that was going on over the Secret Service coming here. I'm sure I've got tapes about that. Um, yeah, they all see me as completely crazy. And it all comes from when I very first started waking up and I started talking so much more about, the aliens' involvement in our world, and that we're about to transform, like a big transformation's about to occur. And they all thought, oh my God, Kelly, it's not aliens, shut up. I don't want to hear your crazy shit. And I kept going, no, you guys, I'm serious. Like, this is real. Like, this is really happening. There's an awakening. Like, there's going to be a solar flash. Like, I was trying to tell them, and they're all like, oh my God, she's just lost it. She's crazy as shit now. So that is when they very first started just looking at me like I was crazy. But it was easy to do because I just think, one thing I woke up to during this period of time was like, I don't have respect from people in my family. They just looked down on me. Like I said so many times, I was the black sheep. I was I'm the one who is the nonconformist. That's what I heard the whole freaking time she was here. Why don't you just put it on? Why do you have to break the rules? So, if you're doing, yelling at someone about that, then stop and think about, like, why do I need them to conform? Why do I need to put pressure on them? Because that's what we need to pull away from. That's what society is doing to us. They're not giving us freedom. It doesn't make us shit. Why I don't want to wear it. I don't want to wear it. And I have that right. And I don't go out and push myself on everybody. I pick up groceries. I stay at home. And, I don't go out and put myself around sickness. Yesterday, my one daughter was like so upset because she wants to go on a trip with me again. This would be our third trip that we're trying to plan. Hers was the wedding in Costa Rica. So we had just done this great, great trip. And we got home, and right away, a few people got sick, and we had flown internationally. And I knew it was already going to be at the airport. I mean, there was people all wearing them already at the airport. But nothing had happened yet. I think there was some in some other places. And then as soon as we got home, several people in our party got really, really sick with upper respiratory sickness. And then I had to go help my one daughter. She was so sick she couldn't even, get up or do anything. So I was having to go over her, feed her, do all that stuff. And I just kept loading the vitamin C. I didn't know what else to do. And at that time, there was a lot of information that wasn't known. And they just kept saying, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. And I just kept and she was like, maybe I should go to the hospital. Like, you just got to work with the symptoms. Focus on your symptoms. When someone comes in the ER and they start telling us that is what the doctor, okay, you got this symptom, then you need to do this. You got this symptom, then you need to do this. You have this symptom, you need to do this. You need to, you doctor your symptoms. If your nose is running, then, take care of your runny nose. If you've got a lot of congestion, get a humidifier, get the mentholatum, put it on your chest. You can go some old wives' tales. You can get some onions, you can get some garlic. There's all sorts of stuff to help you clear out your breathing and stuff. There's all sorts of herbs you can put in your food. There's so many different ones, and now that so many doctors that are speaking out against the agenda of the dark forces, that they are telling a lot of different remedies that you can use. But that is what, you need to do. So we were going over there, then, I was willing to, I know you can't die before your time. I know it's impossible, but it seems to be some huge thing that nobody seems to understand. Just yesterday again, but when I was talking about Betty White, I was like, you can't die before your time. It's not sad to die. It's a transition. It's like you completed something. You came and finished what you came here to do. Why are we not celebrating this? Well, because everybody thinks that death is the end, and they fear death. They fear dying. They fear it all. And a lot of people don't even realize that when you start to die, your soul's already leaving. Your body is going to have, go through a death process like a flower, like a plant or anything. But you won't have the association. Not very many people stay and go through the death with their body. Some watch it, and there's only some that go through it, because not everyone wants to go through the traumatic thing. I mean, when you're a soul, you carry some trauma from traumatic deaths and stuff, some traumatic things we've gone through, and people don't realize how much life-to-life trauma that they carry that affects their physical ailments now in this present life. But because they have no awareness, they think everything is about this life, and they don't, and they think that this life can end and it could be scary. You don't know what's going to happen. It's like your soul, your consciousness, the battery operator of this avatar is just going to go and leave and go home. Go home and, get some high fives, like, job well done. Go in and start planning some more. And, there was another thing that I thought of. I always say think, but like it's my thoughts. They're not my thoughts. They're coming from somewhere else. But it was something, It was something about, maybe it'll come back to me. But anyways, there was some stuff that I wanted to say, because I just kept finding it so strange and so hard to wrap my head around. And like right now, I feel like really, really sad. Like I said, not heavy on my heart, but just sad, because while she was here, I just saw how much she is really struggling that she doesn't see. And I know people think like, this is a horrible thing, what's going on and stuff, but you know how empowering it is to be able to see your true self so that you can actually handle it and you can heal it and you can make decisions over who you are and what you're putting out there in the world. And when you're seeing these people that aren't broke free yet, like, I don't know what everybody else's family's like, but like I've said, mine has always been very science, progressive, liberal, except for my mom, the conservative religious person, and she got demonized. And now I can see that, but it was because there was such a push of telling us that the conservatives were trying to put all their values on us, and it's like it was the same thing. I was fighting for freedom, but nobody. I mean, they keep us all fighting. That's why I'm trying to say that the people who are in that position think they're fighting for the same thing we're fighting for. They just don't realize that they're on the wrong side because they're still so tricked. And there was something else while I was talking that went through that I was like, oh, you forgot to say that too. And what was it? It was something about well, I'm sure this will just be all over the place anyways. But anyways, so but I feel sad just because too of just seeing, like, I don't know, I'm just her trying to gather. It's gonna make me too sad. She's even when even when people like are so angry and so bitter and so just so wrapped up in themselves, and it can come across so different. It comes across to the witness is very different than what the person thinks they're putting out there. Like, they think they are protecting themselves or something. Like, I don't. It is it's very hard to understand. But they see us as the anybody. Well, like what I was talking about. So where they already saw me as crazy, but that was the nail in the coffin once I said that they were lying about Trump on the news. before I even said it, because I knew how it was going to be taken, I had already gone in and started doing research. I started looking up stuff about him because I knew how it was going to be taken in my family. But yeah, so the crazy person then went into a conservative, racist, Republican, Christian. I mean, the labels that were being thrown at me. And now, at first you're like dodging. I'm like, what? And I'm trying to come to the rescue for other people because now I see like, oh my God, I was judging conservatives. I was judging these people, and they're fighting for the same thing as we're fighting for. They're not trying to put more rules on us. They're trying to break free too. And but when I went in and started looking into his record and his humanitarian record and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. They're taking this super nice guy and then they're doing this to him and all these lies, and it just like it blew my mind. But yeah, you couldn't get anybody to hear you. And then it just went into, for sure, Kelly's just crazy, she's just crazy, her brain injury made her crazy. It all kind of went in together. And none of them can look at themselves, see? Because it's a lot. It's a lot to be able to look at yourself. And usually you have to be forced into it. And that's why there's got to be so many traumatic situations. And I don't know what is going to happen in her story. All I could see was that she had so many things that she was holding on to, that she wasn't healing. And she was just continuing the paradigms that we have been accustomed to. Like, it is weird because it is like, well, I mean, we can all see like the hypocrisy that they're not seeing, themselves at all. That they can sit and talk about somebody doing something as they're doing it, and two and two don't go together. Just like, that's the kind of stuff where I'm sitting there just like, what? And I even told her, I said, why she's screaming at me how crazy I am and all that stuff. So I'm beginning to think maybe you're mentally ill. Like, this is weird. Like, this is creepy. Like, how can, like, trying to convince me like I should change and just go with the program so that I can be on social media. I shouldn't speak out. I shouldn't say things against the green again. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how does that make sense to you? But these people who once you're labeled, once they see you as this, all these things, like they'll sit there, my kids will tell me I'm a Republican. Like, I'm not a Republican. I'm not anything. I'm not even probably ever going to vote again for the rest of my life. But they can't hear beyond the narrative that plays out in their head that associates with the label. So the labels are very important. That's why I'm constantly saying we got to let go of these labels. Because just like, over there, that became friends and started working together, just the smack talking about me, because I hear about it when somebody's screaming at me, and it is just like, it is weird to just be surrounded by people who just don't see you. All they see is these labels, and all these labels already are identified in their brain, and they can't be hearing you, seeing you, or interacting with you in any kind of normal way. And until their consciousness is completely aware and takes responsibility for itself, it is super defensive, it's controlling, it's angry, it's bitter. And, like, she's been going through it, like, with her health. And I know her health has to do with, because she's not stopping and listening to her soul. She just keeps going and going and going. Like, oh, I'll go to the next place, it'll be better. I'll go to the next place, it'll be better, And she'd had a house fire and lost all her stuff. And so then, just seeing her, like, there not very much stuff. And, she has a whole bunch of stuff in storage in another place. But, I don't know, it's just sad, when you see your kids struggle. It's just sad. But I'll tell you, that was one thing that I definitely learned in this. Because they can't see you, because our pain and our suffering and our learning and everything comes from within. It's our own experience, and it's our own breakdown of our own judgment and expectation. So it's up to us, and these people are going at it weird, like she was becoming spiritual, but it was this new woke spirituality that is like they're ascending because they are manifesting it or something. I'm not even really sure. Like, I would get lectured on manifestation. I was like, I've been doing it my whole life. I think I know how it works. It actually works for me. I talk about how to do it for yourself because it works for me. I've been doing it my whole life. So this new woke everything is just, it's annoying. It's just a lot of skipping and where I'm better than you kind of still going, right? But anyways, what I definitely noticed is that we all carry our own pain, and there's nothing that somebody can do to fix that for us. I can't go in and fix anything. If somebody's holding on to something from the past, especially in my case, I don't even remember the past. I don't even remember yesterday. So for somebody who is holding on to the past and stuff, I really started seeing how, like, that is actually living in the past. That is living in the past. Like, you can actually be in the present. Well, you can't be in the present moment. It's not possible because you're living in the past. You're holding on to things that aren't healed yet. You're interacting and reacting to people based on your pain from however long ago. And, while they're sitting there being angry at you, they don't even realize what is really, because they're not looking at their own reflection. They're just, if you were this way, I could be better. If you were this way, I would be happier. If you were this way. And that's what I'm saying. We got to keep pulling it back in. Don't go around. If you start finding yourself thinking that, oh, if you did this, I could be happier. If you find yourself starting to tell people, like, do it this way, then it will be the right way. No, let everybody do their own thing, just like right now. Like, even after, she was screaming and yelling at me and stuff, my old self, before going through all of this eye-opening experience and really seeing things for what they are, is, I would have tried to fix it, And this time when she left, it was like, bye. I hope you find what you're looking for. It is, I can't get all like, there's nothing I can do to fix somebody else's stuff. And it just was like, okay, well, now she's going on this adventure, this experience, and I hope it works really well. Like, how, I hope it's what she wants. The thing is, even if it's not what she wants, it's always going to be what you need. And that is the thing, is when you're watching somebody, like, keep blocking, like, I can't look at myself. I'm too busy looking at you. You're the monster here. You're the problem here. I can't look at myself. You're the monster. So look at how much you're stunting yourself because you're focused on someone else you have no control over. And why would someone else need to be a certain way so you could be happy? It kind of would irritate her because I could find peace. Like, I could just sit here and be peaceful, even if I was happy, like, laughing, because I told you, like, I'll listen and I'll be laughing, like, I'm never alone. Even if it looks like I'm alone, I'm never alone. And she'd be like, what is wrong with you? Like, I think these people who are, because when they're not fully in the awakened, conscious, present state, they're living in this pain and suffering and struggle kind of way of being. And, they're still being promoted this, half-assed dime store spirituality version that, their soul's waking up, and then it's getting sold a, 5-cent story, when, like I've said, it's the work, it's real work. Because when you need to see yourself, you've got to stop looking at someone else in the situation and look at yourself. Like, Why am I doing that? Why am I seeing that? Why do I feel that way? Why am I getting upset by this? What is triggering me in this situation? What are the real core feelings that I'm holding on to here? Because that's how you heal them, and that's how you let go of them. But you have to be able to look at them. And that's why I keep saying there's so many people who can't look at themselves. And the universe is about to, they're not going to, you can't get away from it. I just know something big is going to happen where everybody's going to see themselves. You're going to have to see yourself. And I was just kept thinking of all the things, that she was so busy blaming me for in her life that she wasn't looking at herself. So when this all starts happening for her, and I'm glad she started at least getting her spirit open, because, oh my gosh, she was, just a couple years ago, like, no, not at all. So that was, huge progress for that. And even though it's still very controlled, it is kind of like the new spirituality is kind of like religion. It's like fake. It's just fake. You don't need anything to connect to God. You just need you and God. You need to be close to yourself. You need to love yourself, and then you connect to God. You need to go to a building, and you don't need to do anything. You don't need to light candles. You don't need to do a thing. Just start talking to Him. The consciousness that's all around us that makes up God. The higher consciousness is, probably more what you want to tune into. We're kind of breaking free from this lower kind of state of control from the, low dimension vibration kind of resonance, splitting away from that a bit. So I just kept thinking, out of the things that I was seeing her do, I kept thinking, she cannot be the only one. I mean, the stuff I was seeing next door, and like, they have been going through it, like one thing after another. And since I'm new to the area, I don't know a lot of people. And since I'm kicked off next door, I have no networking abilities, and I don't know really what's going on anywhere. But I'm assuming there's a lot of people who have lost everything. That I keep seeing about donations and stuff on just different things. I don't know where. Oh, it was at the weed store. They had a thing about donations. So everybody's trying to get stuff for these people, because everybody up here is losing everything. And so I know the people are going through it. They are, because part of the whole awakening is just the becoming present in the moment, to start really being there and really starting to, it's just I don't even know with the different ways, like if they're going through all these crises, like, I don't know. To me, those come to Jesus moments, as a personal thing. Like, if you go in and you start bargaining, you start begging, like, I don't know what different people are doing, but, I feel like they're starting to go towards a higher state of consciousness, something that it would be perceived as God, and that they are, questioning their roles in society. But none of them are really questioning anything about society. Like, they're just totally in denial about Joe, about all this stuff. They just pretend like nothing's going on. If you even bring it up, you're ridiculous. The only reason that any of them focused at all on the stuff during Trump's was because the news never shut up trying to talk bad about him, trying to get us to hate him. And but they got the opposite, because everything is going to keep getting the opposite. Like, no matter what, we cannot change the trajectory, the energy. It's got to go and play itself out. And this is like, it's going to play itself out and release so that we can move into, and I kind of am really feeling like it's going to be some tattered kind of, picture, what is that? Anyone older would remember this picture, because back in the day, like Vietnam and stuff, we had the vote poster with that, like, funny kind of Uncle Sam guy. It's like I don't even remember. It wasn't like a cartoon, but they made him like kind of cute or something. but like Uncle Sam stuff, vote. There was so, because it was during the bicentennial time too. And, but there was a picture that I kept seeing, or I know it was around that time. It was three guys coming back on a dirt road, but it would have been more like the Civil War, and they're dressed like Civil War. And they're all tattered. They got all these bandages, and they're all like limping down the road to get home. I kind of am feeling like that is what it's going to feel like by the time that this transition is really, switching, going the other direction. Because this is still, I'm just shocked how stagnant this feels. I mean, it really feels like someone has a rubber band and has stretched it as far as it can, and we're all there in the tension, just like the Jenga game. I mean, it's like the last couple pieces, and somebody keeps pulling one, and it's like you can feel the tension. You can feel what's going to happen when everything pops back and goes the other direction, because it has to. You cannot go one direction. You can't just keep going one direction. It always has to come back. The energy can go one way, but it's got to come back. It's always got to find balance. And it goes back and forth until we, as the collective, as the consciousness of this system, until we are all in balance, then it can be in balance. But until then, it's just going to keep shifting back and forth. And, for souls to have experiences. And even when it were to come perfectly in balance, there would be another expansion. There would be another big bang. New universes would be built. Because seriously, what are you going to do as a soul for eternity? Like infinity, eternity. Now I can just pop the words right out. What are you going to do? I mean, you got to have something to do. So, of course, souls are going to keep creating new experiences and universes and all of that stuff. But, I just think it's really through all of this stuff that we're going through, just really keep bringing it back to self. It was the biggest thing I kept seeing is like, even before, like I don't know, it was a couple months ago, or I've lost so much track of time. But I even tried to say, like, all I got to do is barely speak and you're triggered. Like, if you've got so many triggers from me, you've got a lot of issues you need to work on about your mom. And she'd be like, no, she's healed all that. It's just because I've got, I'm the problem. I make her life so hard. Presently. It's like it makes it hard by saying, if you don't have anything nice and you want to just come out here and yell and cuss me out, then stay away from me. Like, I don't know. I think that we need to set boundaries. But also, there was a lot of times when some of this stuff would be going on, and I would think of like how, the dysfunctional way that, people have handled things. Probably I have, and I know I've seen it. Somebody says something to us and we just react and we get mad, and it just goes back and forth, back and forth. It's totally unproductive. And we're fighting for nothing that makes sense, So the more that we just, pull in to ourselves and work on our own pain and really see our pain, like how I could see so much, like you're here. The universe put you here so you could heal these things for me. And I mean, she literally couldn't even be in the same room with me. It was, but it was because of me. It wasn't because she needed to heal anything. But so I could see, like, she's holding back this healing because she's going to have to look at herself. She can't. When you go in and you start doing stuff, you have to look at yourself. You can look at somebody and go, oh, that triggered me. Why would it trigger me? It has nothing to do with them. It all has to do with us inside. And, until we can really get in that place, like I just would not be triggered by her. I would feel really bad for her. I would see like she's really suffering and she's got a lot of pain, and she's got a lot of growing to do, and I know the universe is about to, I hope not hand her a lot at once, but I think we see what's coming. We see what's coming. And, you know, I mean, she's out here yelling at me one of the days, like, oh, you wouldn't do that, so that's why you got the Hep C. It's like, they don't have one of those. Back when I worked at the hospital, I was constantly getting those. I've had my fair share. I don't need any more. And obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna, you know, run down and get one when she gets out of here. I don't even know. Maybe she already did, honestly. I would have no idea. I mean, she's so sick while she was here. Her body was attacking her. And she had been around so many people who had. So she's definitely got the shedding stuff, you know. She was always around people who had. And she thinks that she's taking good care of herself, but she's not. So, you know, it's just a lot of people in at this time, especially if you're going in and listening to some of this dime store spirituality bullshit. You know, it is a focus. It is a complete focus on yourself. So if you're having health issues and stuff, you know, it is, you are the one who has to maintain this avatar. You are the one who has to think about how does it fuel? What works best in my body? How often do I need to put something into it? If I've got inflammation, should I be eating stuff that causes inflammation, or should I be eating stuff that doesn't? And, you know, just, you have to go in and really start looking at things, and looking at old remedies and stuff is really, I think, is really smart, because when they started Western medicine, Rockefeller tried to block all that, because he's the one who started it all, because he knew he could make a lot of money off of us, off of pills and stuff, which, you know, we've seen how that played out. So, but, you know, all my family is still 100% in support of the Fact Hard, Gator Boy, all of it. You know, believing that, you know, one after another is a saving grace. I mean, one daughter wants me to go on a trip, is trying to get me to get one. I'm like, no, I will not do it for this. I will not do it for that. I will not do it to travel. I will, no. No, I'd figure something else out. Like, oh, and I remembered too, like, I don't know how long I have had this company, but I started being like, oh my gosh, I was only here to try and fix this place up to Airbnb it so I could start traveling. And all of a sudden it started coming back to me, like, because I was like so burnt out, so sick of all of this and the weird people and stuff. I was just like, I'm freaking sell my house, and I love this house. Like, I have put murals on all the walls, and I don't want to sell it. You know, I've put my heart and soul into this house during quarantine, and so, you know, I do want to do it as a vacation rental. It's in the perfect prime place. So I'm going to get back focused on that. See about getting, you know, if it is where we still can't travel and stuff, get a camper or something, and just start getting movement back into my life. Like, this is just, it's so stagnant. And I kind of feel like if we don't start just doing stuff, we're going to be, I mean, it's us. We have to start doing it. We have to start moving and taking a stand and stuff. We have to get out of this fear. Oh, and one good thing too is when I went to the gas station the other day and I got that champagne, hardly anyone in there. It was packed, and hardly anyone was wearing a thing. So I was like, oh my God, that felt good. The people behind the counter weren't. I was like, oh my God, maybe people are waking up. I just don't have very much contact with people. And most of the people I have had contact with, they all have some sort of issue or something. Like, I just know this isn't my place. I mean, I've never thought like, oh, this is my new future. This is my new life. Even though I was like getting excited, I did want to bring in live music. We have the HOA, like a whole country club kind of thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to start getting it organized to do like outdoor concerts and get people to come up and dance and start having live music. But, you know, they've been very strict about everything, all of this stuff going on. So I don't know. I don't know how everything's going to keep going down. It just is going slow. So I don't And, the way Juan was like, it's not going to get better for a while. So we're just going to have to keep, watching, witnessing some of this stuff. It's very difficult to witness because it's like even talking to people who are like hypnotized or zombified or something, like they're not even seeing the whole. It is weird because like for consciousness that isn't completely awake, it is so much reactive in the world that they don't even see, like they really don't see anything coming. They don't see any problems or anything because they're just reacting and trying to survive in their own pain, and they haven't done the healing yet. So that is one thing I'm telling you too. Once this whatever is going to happen happens, and I think it's going to be like a big light switch is going to all of a sudden either go off or come on, either way. But all of a sudden it's like the programming or something will glitch out, and they're going to have to realize all of a sudden, and then it's going to be, but that energy that is going to reverberate like across all of us energetically. And that is what I heard is what causes the solar flash. Or that is what causes it, is the energetic burst of the awakening. So I don't know, probably really for cosmic purposes, we needed to have a lot of us wake up. I mean, we needed to have a lot of us witness this, because we can't let this happen again. It was so nefarious and corrosive, and it was so underhanded how they were able to just get into our lives the way they have. And the manipulation, and the thing that gets me, I think the worst of all of this stuff, is about the medical and the poisons in our food. And just watching someone struggle with their health and knowing that it's all arsenic and toxins and stuff, and they think, Western med's going to save them. And I'm telling you, that weird, it wasn't even getting any better. And I've only seen that kind of modeling on skin on a dead body. Like, I really hope these med beds, I hope that we're going to start seeing some action, start seeing some truth, that we start breaking free. It's like we're under the ice, like the pond froze and we're under it and we're looking up, pounding on it. And somehow we got to break through and get to the fucking truth. Because this is just, it's just ridiculous. But I know it's important for a lot of us to witness it and to see it, because that is what's going to be the big change. We will be the ones who are walking down that path, all tattered and torn, and bandages, especially ice packs on our head. But all of us, though, the worn-torn that have gone through the trauma of this war, we've witnessed a lot, and it's a painful situation, and we just have to remember, we can't ever let this happen again. We have to move forward as a free people and take responsibility for ourselves, each and every one of us. There was nobody, corporate food and stuff. What were we even thinking? And they did it so sneakily. So, anyways, I keep on talking a lot over the last few days, and I probably skipped around a lot of things, because it was having like super emotional, but it wasn't like I wasn't feeling triggered or sad. I felt sad, but I feel sad for her, like, that she's not seeing. And when you're not seeing something, it's going to come in harder and harder and harder for whatever it is you need to heal. It's going to, it's just going to lambaste you until you heal it. And when, it does it at a little thing, you don't see it, it goes bigger, 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 bigger. And yeah, it was no accident that her physical ailments started coming, I think, once she had decided that she was going to leave from here. And then some of the logic behind it, like she couldn't take a bus from here to go and get medical treatment, but she's going to move somewhere where she doesn't know anybody. And then, walk around and then hope that somebody she knows nearby is going to come and take her to another city to, I was just like, that makes sense. And I was like, okay. That's where you got to release some of this stuff. Like, as a parent, you want to be like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you want to lose your goddamn mind. Like, they're still 10 years old, but they're a grown-ass adult. Like, one of the things she even said to me, like, I had said something, and it was like, I don't even know what it was. It was definitely not trying to tell her what to do. It was like asking a question. She said, you act like I'm just sitting here like one of those avatars on the video game when it's not being played. And she goes, I'm not just sitting here, like, I'm actually doing things and thinking. And it's like, I wasn't ever saying you weren't, but like, you couldn't offer anything. You couldn't have a conversation. Everything was just, all they can hear is, you're a racist, you're trying to control me, you're a conservative. I mean, this stuff, it was like everything about me just can't even stand. And I'm not even any of the things that they think. It's just mind-boggling, this whole thing. So I do think it's important for us to keep talking about it, and for people to keep looking at themselves. See, am I doing this? Am I doing that? Like, when somebody is acting like that to you, whatever triggers you, go in and heal that. Don't start fighting back. It's pointless. I'm telling you, it's completely pointless. You will not get anywhere. It is like you are trying to talk to somebody speaking another language. They can't understand you at all. So there's no reason to make them points. We're just in this state until the shift happens, where it is still just very divided. Like, they really can't understand us. They can't hear us. They can't see us. They are just can only see, hear, and think what has been given to them. And I'm not even kidding. They really do have that. If it's not on Facebook, it doesn't happen. I'm like, how do you not even hear about what Facebook is doing? Like, what? Facebook is like so censored. But since they are, the good ones, the ones that, we should all strive to be like, then that's okay. We shouldn't be allowed on social media spreading nonsense like we do. So, anyways, I'll just keep rambling. So I will get back to making my hats. I keep adding on more stuff, especially just sitting here, but it is very relaxing. It really does keep you centered. Even when somebody is just angry and mad and stomping around, you can really center yourself. And that's what we got to just keep doing. Don't get caught up in someone else's trauma during this. Because, and it is like they are like kind of glitching out themselves. Like, they can't, I don't know, I think there's going to be a lot more glitching as people have to really start to witness themselves. And one thing that I know about these people is that they have got their egos, they've got a lot of ego work coming, and you can see it in the arrogance and the everybody needs to, do what they say, the virtue signaling, the setting everybody else's rules and all of their stuff. So, it's going to be a very trying time. It's going to be really hard, and it's going to be hard for a lot of us to witness. And but it's what is going to make all the difference for our future. So this has to happen. And there's going to be some people who aren't going to be able to make it. Facing themselves is way too hard. And, they're doing everything they possibly can to not do that right now. Like, I'm not looking at myself. It's everyone else in the world. It's the world. It's climate change. It's this, it's that, That's what's the problem. But, I'm telling you, when you just heal your own pain and your own stuff, and you just learn to love yourself, a lot of the stuff you just will see. Just doesn't matter. I mean, you just have spent so much time wasting energy on shit that just doesn't matter. So, anyways, pay attention to what does matter, and pay attention to your own healing, and don't, just whatever you do, don't start feeling like you need to tell other people how to be. That's what we want to move away from. We want everybody to get to be who they want to be. And remember, you are them and they are you. You're just having different experiences. We all come from the same source. There's nothing different about any of us. Just the only difference is what we're experiencing. And that is what makes the source more whole. So anyways, I'll just talk and talk. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.